Hi guys, so I already put primer on Kirby, which I would suggest if you are planning on wearing makeup all day. And then we're going to go ahead and start with the eyeshadow first so it doesn't get all over her face. And we're going to start off with this color right here with a fluffy blending brush and put it in the crease. So right above your eyeball in that little socket right there. And you just want to make sure it's all blended out so you don't have any harsh lines. So I would suggest using a really fluffy brush for this, so that you can make sure that it's really blended out. So I'm doing the same thing to the other eye, and all of the products that we use will be listed down below in the little description bar so you can easily find them. And now we're going to be taking a darker color and we're going to be using the same brush and putting it on the outer V of her eye. We do this so that it will give some more dimension to her eye, but also not close them off so they don't look too small. You want to be able to see her eyes from the stage. So I'm just making a little small V shape on the outer edge of her eye to give it more dimension. I would start off with a small amount of product and build up because you can always add more product, but you can't really take any away. So I am just adding a little bit of product at a time and blending it, and if I feel like I need more, then I just add a little bit more. You can see that I'm adding a little bit more to her other eye to balance it. Here I'm just blending out her eyeshadow to make sure there's no harsh lines and make sure it blends seamlessly into the other colors. Okay, then we're going to go in the darkest color. This is the one you definitely want to be the most careful with. Like I said, just start off with a little bit at a time, and you can always add more. I'm putting this right on top of the other dark color that we used, right on top of that brown, and making a small V shape on the side of her eye, just to give it a little bit more dimension so you can make sure that you see her eyes from the stage. With all the bright lights, you want to make sure that you can see all of her features and they don't get washed out. I'm using the same sort of blending brush and just blending that onto her eye and being really light-handed so we don't have any harsh lines. I'm then taking this light color and putting it onto her lid to brighten up her eye. I'm keeping this on her lid and on the inner corner of her eye so that it doesn't get too muddled with the other colors. You'll see that I go in a couple times and layer this color on just to make it really bright. And of course, if you have similar colors, you don't have to buy these specific products that I'm using. If you have similar colors, just go ahead and use those. So then I'm going back into that fluffy brush that we used before, and I'm blending that all together to make sure that there's no harsh lines on her eyes. Then I'm going in with an eyeliner, which can be a little tricky. I like to use a liquid eyeliner like this. It has a felt tip, so it's kind of like using a pen. Just start off with short, slow strokes so that you don't make any crazy mistakes. And if you do make a mistake, don't worry, don't freak out. Just take a Q-tip when it's completely dry and wipe it away. So you can see I'm just doing little tiny strokes and then blending them together to make a line. And then I'm taking a foundation that matches her skin color, and I'm using a beauty blender, which is a cosmetic sponge, and blending it onto her skin. Kirby doesn't need that much foundation. I just like to put it on the spots that do get red when she is going to be dancing on stage. Using a foundation will also help when you add powders on later, like her bronzer and her blush, to make them appear more pigmented. And then I'm taking a translucent powder and brushing that all over her face. I would suggest getting a translucent powder for competition just because it blends with any skin color. So if you do get tanner or whiter throughout the year, you can use the same powder all year long. I'm just using a big fluffy powder brush to apply this to her skin. I'm using the same brush to apply a bronzer. I like to use a matte bronzer, which means there's no shimmer in it. I feel like this looks the most natural. So I'm going to be using that today. You can use any matte any matte bronzer that you can find. I'm just putting that in the hollows of her cheeks and around her forehead, just again to give her face a little bit more dimension. Then I'm taking this blush, and it's pink, and I'm going to be putting that on the apples of her cheek and blending it back towards her hairline. And then I'm going to be doing the scariest part, which is applying eyelashes. I use tweezers to apply my eyelash, and I grab them in the middle of the eyelash. I place them onto the middle of the lid, and then I use the tweezers to wiggle on the outer and the inner corners. If you're new at using eyelashes, they can be a little scary. I really, really suggest using tweezers. It's definitely the most helpful way of applying her eyelash. And eyelashes are, as you can see, necessary. You saw when she opened her eyes the difference between one eye and the other. They really do bring a lot of attention to your eyes, so they're super necessary. So just practice makes perfect. So just try them at home and take them off, try them again, take them off and try them again. And again, try to put them on in the middle and then wiggle the outside onto your eyelid and then the inside onto your eyelid. I found that that's the best and easiest way to put them on your eyelids. Then I'm going back in with that same brown shadow that we started with on the top of her eye and just running that on the bottom of her eye just to balance off the top and the bottom. And that's all we're going to do on the bottom. And then we have two lipsticks this year. We have a nude lipstick and a red lipstick. I'm going to be putting the nude one on her. Again, all of the products will be listed down below, so they're easy to find. And this is going to be the last step. Easy squeezy. For the hair, we're going to start with a low ponytail right next to our ear, parted on the left side. You're going to want to use a lot of hairspray and gel to make sure that you have no wispies in your hair at all. And then we're going to put the donut on your hair. So you're just going to want to put your hair right through the donut, your ponytail. And then you're going to spread your hair around the donut, making sure that you can't see any parts of the donut. So this might take a little bit. And then once you have it just like this, like a waterfall, you're going to wrap a hair tie, preferably one that matches your hair color, around the donut. Just like that. Again, you're going to want to make sure that there's no pieces of the donut showing, which is that thing that we just put around our ponytail. So make sure that you spread out your hair to make sure that's covered. So you're going to split the hair that you have left over into two even pieces. And then you're going to want to braid those two pieces of hair. Just a regular braid. And you're going to want to put a clear elastic on the bottom. If you put a thick elastic or a rubber band around the bottom of this braid, or a colored elastic, you will be able to see it around your bun. So make sure that you're finding those little tiny clear elastics. And you're just going to want to braid it all the way down to the end. Once you've done that, you're going to take a hair net that matches the color of your hair. So make sure that if you have blonde hair like Kirby's, you're not getting a black hair net. And wrapping it all the way around your bun. And then you're going to take your two little braids and wrap them around your hair. You're going to want to get the open-ended bobby pins. These are the easiest to use and keep your hair in for the longest amount of time. You're going to stick them into the donut and back out, and then into the braid and stick them in. And go all the way around your bun and stick your little braid all the way around. When you get to the end where you have the two little tails, you're going to want to tuck them underneath the braid, and then you're going to use the bobby pins to disguise them. And then once you've finished all your bobby pins and make sure that you don't have any parts sticking out, you are done. You're going to take a ton of hairspray and make sure that you have no wispies at all. If you think you've used enough hairspray, you're probably wrong, so keep spraying it. And keep applying hairspray all day. And then this is the finished look with her hair and makeup. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a really great competition or performing season.